Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Peter, the Premier League returns this weekend. We've got two tasty fixtures. So on Saturday, Manchester United travel to London to take on Watford, and then on the Sunday, Manchester City host Everton. And for Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's got to bounce back from the last league defeat.
Well, it is looking like it's a kind of when, not if, Solskjaer goes, unless he can turn it around quickly. And this is just the sort of game that United need to win. Yeah. I think they probably will. Watford are struggling at the bottom of the table. United, despite all the problems which are well documented, are hovering near the top of the table. Solskjaer's future has been under the spotlight for about a month. I mean, the title odds with Betfred now, United are 80 to 1 to win the league. Well, it was only 6 weeks ago, but they were 5 to 1. So you can see how how they're drifting big time. Defeats against Liverpool and Manchester City, of course. It does need a big win. We've got Watford 5 to 1 to win, United 9 to 20, so they're odds on. A draw, which I think is a possibility, 10 to 3. Cristiano Ronaldo is 9 to 4 to score first. Cavani 10 to 3, Rashford 10 to 3. Fernandes 7 to 2, which is the same price as Mason Greenwood. So we are envisaging here at Betfred United win. Maybe not as convincing, but what they need is to craft out a win, to graft it and get a win to keep Solskjaer in a job. United are that big that they're only going to hire someone who's better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So they would be looking for a top 6 manager in the world, and that brings in people like Zidane and PSG manager, and also Leicester's boss,
Brendan Rodgers.
Brendan.
I've always tipped him. I always thought it'd be a good fit for United.
The downside for him, of course, is his Liverpool connection. So Pochettino is also a favoured manager at United because of the way that he builds the club up. He'd use a lot of younger players. Zidane maybe not so. He'd be looking on the world stage to bring in players of high pedigree. But United's way is to blend good young guns brought through the ranks in the fantastic academy that they've got there with top-notch players from all over the world. So it'd be different to see whether they change the culture, or they might just stick with Solskjaer because, as I say, they're still like hovering up at the top. They're still in Europe, and they're still in contention, shall we say, for the title. I don't think they'll win it because it is looking much more like a win for City, who we've got Betfred have 8 to 11 to win the title. Chelsea second favourites 5 to 2. Liverpool still a good bet there, 5 to 1. West Ham, team of the moment, 40 to 1 to win the title. Arsenal ahead of United now, who'd have thought that, 66 to 1. So it is looking like those top 3, City, Chelsea and Liverpool. That's what the money's on anyway.
Well, speaking of managers, Watford boss Claudio Ranieri's had a week to rest and prepare for this fixture. Of course, he only came into Vicarage Road a few weeks ago. Maybe he's had a bit of time now to assess his squad, see who's up for the fight, see who's not. And you never know, even though United are favourites to win this game, Watford might pull off a surprise given the boost with a new manager.
Yeah, Watford are one of those teams where they probably haven't got that many players who've been involved in the internationals like United and the top teams. So he will be able to work with them and build on one of his best aspects or tactics that he's always adopted is from free kicks and corners. So maybe he's been working on that.
Well, Watford keeper Ben Foster, he's come in for a bit of criticism recently following the defeat at Arsenal a few weeks ago. He does like a vlog. I don't know if you've seen it online for YouTube, and he went and spoke to the Arsenal goalkeeper, having a bit of a laugh with him and stuff like that. Should a Premier League player be doing that after a defeat, and especially making it public?
Well, when they do that, I mean, I'm all for personalities because I think some footballers are incredibly bland, and they're taught to be bland. They have public relations training and are taught how to speak to the camera and to the print media. And basically they're told to don't necessarily answer the question, just go round the question. So I'm all for players getting stuck in and thinking of the long-term futures and doing other things, like Marcus Rashford, and fantastic work he did on child poverty in this country. It's how they should use the profile. So I'm up for this. They do have plenty of time on their hands, and it's better than resting up all afternoon and not doing so much.
Yeah, well, it makes it more relatable, doesn't it? I mean, if you're looking at the working class that are going to football, paying all this money, they want to be able to relate to players, and you can't do that if they're just coming out with bland statements, obviously written by the PR team. Maybe it is time for a change.
Yeah, well, it does open them up for criticism now, because as soon as they do anything out of their ordinary, some supporters start thinking, you should concentrate on the football. I mean, you've heard that allegation made against Rashford.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really affecting his form. What's affecting his form is his shoulder injury.
Yeah, well, he's also had another week's rest, so he'll be up for the task at Watford on Saturday. But then 24 hours later, at the Etihad Stadium, it's Manchester City hosting Everton. Peter, as you said then before, City highly likely to retain the title this season. But, they're facing an Everton side going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment, so this one looks likely for a City win.
Yeah, well, we've got City 1-7 to win, so odds on again with Betfred. Everton 14-1, not a bad price that. Once a long ago when Everton were City's bogey team, a draw is 6-1. We've got Foden back from his heroics with England, 10-3 to score first. De Bruyne 7-2, the same as Gundogan. And Jesus actually, and Mahrez, and Sterling. So all those five are all on the same odds, 7-2, and that just epitomises Manchester City. You just don't know where the goals are going to come from, if they do come, because there isn't a set centre forward. No. Any of those players could be like a false number 9. Literally, apart from Jesus, who said he wants to play wide, but they all could play in that position. And once they play in that position, the way City create chances, it's more or less a given that one of them gets on it in the 6-yard box and just taps it in. Those are the sort of goals that City are scoring nowadays. Yeah,
a lot of speculation surrounding Sterling at the moment. Will he be leaving to join Barcelona? Will he be a good fit for Barcelona? Would he even want to leave Manchester, given he's settled here? They've just established a foundation down in London for him. Would he want to leave?
Well, he is the sort of guy who sees himself as the main man vis-a-vis how he plays for England, and he's a confidence player. You can see that by how he takes his chances when he's on his game, and I think that his nose has been pushed out a little bit by Grealish and the form of Foden, so he's not necessarily a guaranteed starter. He won't like that. So I do think there's a move on the cards there.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to move into some boxing news now, because the new face of Betfred is boxing legend, the ring announcer, Michael Buffer. Peter, tell us a bit about this. It's a bit of a coup for yourself.
Well, it is. He's in his 70s. He's the most famous boxing announcer in the world. Everybody knows his catchphrase, ready to rumble. And Betfred have hired him now to represent us, not just in boxing, but for our adverts for snooker, and the Safe Gambling Initiative, and all the other activities that Betfred do, such as Super League, darts, everything. He is the face of Betfred for the immediate future. He's in the adverts which are start on TV this weekend, and it's a fantastic coup. He has given us an interview in which he tips Tyson Fury, from Manchester of course, to one day be the greatest boxer of all time. So that's something that we'll be writing about as well.
And he would know, wouldn't he?
Well, he has got close and personal with some fantastic boxers over the years.
Yeah, he certainly has. Well, let's get ready to rumble. Well, there'll be a rumble in the jungle this weekend, because this weekend does mark the return of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Peter, some familiar faces in here. You've got Frankie Bridge, wife of former Chelsea player Wayne Bridge. Of course, she used to sing for the Saturdays. You've got Danny Miller from Emmerdale, Simon Gregson from Coronation Street. Of course, the popular Steve McDonald, that's who he plays. And then you've got former Tottenham player David Ginola. Tell us a bit about this.
Well, it is one of the most popular reality TV shows in Britain, if not the most popular. Starts on Sunday. We've got Frankie Bridge 4-1 with Betfred as the favourites to win it, to be Queen of the Jungle. Danny Miller 9-2, ex of Emmerdale. Simon Gregson, as you mentioned, 11-2, his third favourite. Ginola 7-1. And then we've got the two TV presenters, Richard Maidler, 7-1, and Louise Mitchin, 8-1 to win it. So it's going to be exciting for many folk, that, including my missus.
I'm going to admit it, you know, I'm looking forward to this one. Wasn't too great last year, was it, due to COVID and stuff like that? But looking at this lineup, it's getting me a bit excited, and I'm not usually someone who gets excited over reality TV, if that's what you want to call it.
Well, it is an easy watch, isn't it? Seeing people going through the paces and all that stuff with the creepy crawlers and things.
Yeah, braver than me. I definitely wouldn't want to do it. Well, you've had a big winner this week, Peter. Someone has scooped £9,000 from a 15p bet. Why can't it be me? Tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, well, I spoke to this lady in Wales, Gemma Pearson. She works in a mini supermarket down there. Anyway, she bet 15 pence, that's pence, on the Nifty 50, which is the Betfred's numbers game. So she picked 5 numbers, and they're all based on family dates. So 14 is a sister's birthday, 37 a mother's, 38 for a father's, 45 for a friend back in where she comes from, the Philippines, and 48 because it's a sister's husband's birthday. Anyway, she won this £9,000 from a 15 pence bet. I mean, it is pretty remarkable. And she's going to buy herself a new kitchen. So her whole kitchen costs 15 pence. Thanks to Betfred.
There you go. It could be you, but as I always say on these Betfred Sports Talks, you've got to be in it to win it. Well, if you do fancy a punt on any of the Premier League fixtures this weekend, Betfred stores are now open, but you can also bet online and via their app.